Welcome to today's Launch and Learn session part 2. In part 1, we've looked at what the problem is. We've painted a picture of the problem that we have with the POS system. In this part 2 now, we're going to show you 5 step-by-step business process on how to manage POS account with your bank. Now, the very first step that you need to do to manage POS account is to create a role for the management of POS account. To set up a business process at your cashier collection point on how POS system will be managed. So the very first thing you need to do is to, even within the organization, decide how all these POS receipts will be managed once they are generated and service is provided. Assign a cashier or employ someone to work with the cashier on full-time basis, and whose responsibility will be to capture basic information from POS receipts in a Microsoft Excel if you do not have money to subscribe to our software. You can also name someone on this role as a POS account manager. So you actually need in the organization, whether it's a small business, a big business, you need someone in this role to be able to manage his receipts. Again, the number of people depend on number of transactions that are generated per day. Some merchants may feel that the role of a POS account manager is additional cost on operation. This may seem so because the merchant does not know how much her business is losing daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly to POS payment method fraud. It's because you don't know, that's why you think that it's an expensive or it is an additional cost. Now let me say, in Nigeria, for someone who finished a secondary school and has an IT knowledge, you can get such a person. It varies, depends on where you are. Some you might pay 30, where we've implemented before. There are those who pay people who could do this kind of job 30,000. There are some people who could pay 50,000. There are some organizations, depending on the volume of transaction a day, there are those who can pay 100,000, and there are even organizations that get a graduate to do the job and they pay as much as over 100,000 naira per month because of the benefit of protecting the business inflow. You're using a POS to do business. That's where the inflow is coming from. You need to protect that inflow. Okay? So don't think it's very expensive. For a small shop, you can get someone maybe 30,000, 35,000, and then he will then manage all the POS receipts. I'm going to define the role that this POS account manager will be doing, the role they will perform in the organization. Most cashiers in an organization already know how to manipulate POS sales account. Currently, even without any system, most cashiers knows how they manipulate this account. In so many places, we've also discovered that apart from the bank, your cashier uses a POS accounting system is a major means of fraud. Okay, we've analyzed this data before and see where they are doing double counting, even changing dates, okay, on receipts, or using obsolete receipt to account for current transaction. We've seen all sorts of problem with this account, and that's why we're trying to introduce a system that you can be able to manage without all this duplication of effort. Okay, now you also need here in this picture that I've shown, this is the role that you need to create. So what this person will do once your business generate a POS receipt as this, the role of this POS account manager will be to manage his account between the bank. So also ask your bank, if your business does not have an account officer, it is your right, ask the bank to provide you with account officer. So your POS account manager will be working directly with your bank account officer. Okay? Now let me also talk you through some of the basic data that the new role that we have created now, the POS account manager, what sort of data is expected to be captured. Okay? First, you need to know the bank, because each of the POS belongs to a bank. So the bank name is always written on the receipt. So they should be able to capture the bank name. Okay? And then POS transaction dates, very important. So here you see that this receipt was generated on 9 February 2022. Again, this is where you have the terminal ID. Each POS has a unique identifier, and we call that POS terminal ID. This must be captured. Okay? And now you have the customer or buyer information. Everyone that uses a card to buy on your POS machine or to pay you on your POS machine, the POS machine captures the information of that card. And I want to show you where that information is captured on this receipt. PAN is the card number. So your customer who uses his card has the card number, okay? The scheme is the type of the card that was used. PAN is the number on that card. Now, every card has expiry date. So here you see 2212. It means that this card will expire in December 2022. Okay, so that's what this 2212 means. December 2022. Okay, now there is a name on the card. Okay, so you have a name. Before, we used to have the name on the card, printed on the card. But now, in the wisdom of the central bank, they've changed it to number. So you may also want to capture this number. Okay, and then you have the transaction information called RRN. So this is a unique identifier for this transaction. Okay, so you have the transaction number. Now you also would need to capture the amount on the invoice. So these are the basic information that you need to capture. Okay, and I tell you, if you pick this receipt, look through it, you'll be able to read it. So these are the information that you can capture. Now let's show you our screen. In the POS Analyzer, instead of capturing that information in Excel, you rather can use our terminal. So in our terminal here, you can search for customer, you can enter this as a public customer. Now, in some situations, you have 10 cashiers, you have 5 cashiers, you have 2 cashiers. So any cashier that logs on, everything that will be captured on this screen now will be captured under GD at TTB. Okay, that's the cashier here. Okay, this is where your customer information. Once you select your customer here, the customer information is displayed here. Okay, now if you're using our software, each terminal is already predefined in the system. So you need to select the terminal that you're using. Okay, and then like we showed here before, this date of the date of transaction, you'll be able to capture this date here. Amount of in the invoice, this amount here, 7,740 naira 5 kobo. You will be able to capture here. Okay, now sales invoice number. For most sales system or payment system that is done electronic, there is a number that is generated on using your legacy system. You can put that number here if the transaction is already done. So you already know the number. You may try to capture this here. Now this our system, the POS Analyzer, has a way of reconciling all transactions that emanated using POS. Now if you don't have that number, you can put 0 here. Now this is where the customer information is being captured. This here, the customer information or buyer information is being captured. Like I said the name before, you can put nil if there is no name there. Now in this case, in this one, you have this number 0000832. So you can actually put this number here. That is the person that actually used his card to buy in your shop or you provided the services for. If there is anything that goes wrong, you can use, track back the person who actually made this payment. It's quite possible. As long as this is a card, you can use that card and get back to the person. In this PAN here, you have the first 6-digit number. So this number has to be captured. This first 6-digit number, okay? Now here you capture the last 4-digit number. So here you have the last 4-digit number. So capture this number in the system will be able to capture this number. If you're using Excel, you also put your Excel in this template. You can go to our site and download the template that will enable in Excel, which you can use to key in this information. Okay. Now the transaction number, this number here, you can also capture this number here. Okay. And then the type of card, you'll be able to see here, printed here as scheme. So you have a master Verve card or whatever card that you use, you should be able to select in our system here. Now, expiry month, this is for this one is 12 December 2022. You should be able to capture that here. So which month? Okay, so you have January to December here. So this is for this particular transaction on this sample here is the 10th month, and this is 2023, and you post transaction. This is what this POS Analyzer will be doing on daily basis. Once a transaction has occurred, your company has sold, or a service has been provided, the client has paid with POS, that receipt, this receipt that is generated, that is the third step now. The POS account manager need to be able to capture the basic information. And what we've done in POS Analyzer is to provide a screen. So you need to provide, like we said before here, that you need to provide a laptop or a desktop for this account officer, your business account officer, to be able to capture this information on daily basis. The number of the account officer you need depends on the volume of transaction that your company is currently doing. Okay, so what work will this POS account manager will be doing? Number one, the POS account manager must create a database of all daily approved receipts. So all these receipts that the business has done, and now this is money, she must have the database for it. Either you use our system or this information must be provided in Excel. Now every week she needs to print out all these receipts, okay? Print it out. Now weekly also she needs to contact the account officer to give her a download of all the POS transaction in the bank account statement on transaction by transaction basis, okay? Like this one is one transaction. The bank also need to provide you this in a database on transaction by transaction basis, okay? We've done that severally. The bank, once you ask, the bank will be able to generate you this. Talk to your account officer, they will be able to do it for you. Apart from capturing data, she needs to make sure that she cross-check that each of these transactions is credited in the business account. Now, all POS transaction that is not credited in business account, she needs to produce this evidence to the bank to say, look, with the statement you've given to me, I've checked, ABC is not there, and the bank will refund you the money. This is way to do it in a very simple way. Either you use our system or you use Excel to do it. This person should be able to do this. Because it's a normal task, using Excel will take a lot of time, and the certainty of the result, the clarity of the result may not be there, and there would be error here and there. And that's why we advise. This software is very cheap. You can get it, install it in your system. The POS account manager will be able to use this software to track your payment and make sure that the company, every single kobo, every single cent that the business generates is credited in the business bank account. So the fourth step, what the business need to do, we recommend to you a POS Software Analyzer. This software that will enable, all that they need to do is just to capture this information, print from the bank, and the system, our system, the analyzer, will tell you all the transaction that is not credited to your account. So you don't need to think about it. I'm going to show you in the next demo how that is done. It's seamless, okay? Now, so what do I ask you to do? Please, for you to test this software, go to www.posanalyzer.com and request for an online free account to use this software for 30 days trial. Or you can watch a video, documentary at www.posanalyzer.com on how POS Analyze software can be used. So if you download the software or you subscribe to the software, you can then go to our site. There are documentary on how to step-by-step process to take you through, so you can actually test this by yourself. You can watch an online manual. You can also watch the online documentary to see how it works. If you have any question, please contact me on the number on the screen, or better still, please just tweet at me at Ivan Suko and I'll respond. Thank you. I'll see you in the demo session. For more information on how to stop POS fraud in Nigeria, please visit www.posanalyzer.com, and on the menu, please click on demo video. You will see all the videos that we have done, all the tutorials that we have done on this subject. Better more, you can search and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ivan's Uko. You will see all the videos that we have made and all the tutorials that we have made on this subject. Even the new researches and revelations that we are having about the fraud that is going on the use of POS terminals in Nigeria, you will be able to follow all the discussion. Better still, please WhatsApp me on the number on the screen. And of course, you can also tweet at me. Please share this video to all merchants in Nigeria using POS. Number one reason why you must share this video is to help them reconcile their POS account with their various banks. Number 2 reason is to help them recover their money from the bank from all uncredited transactions. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next edition.